Hi there, it's Nina with Walla Stamping. Thank you for joining me today. This is the project we're going to be making. It is a Santa hat treat box. So cute, and I thought that this would be a great idea for your elementary age school children to take to their Christmas parties and give this as a treat to their teacher, to their classmates, what have you. And the way that you put the candy in is when you squeeze on the front and the back of this box, there's a little opening up here, and you can put all of your treats and candies inside there. It takes 1/2 of a piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and it's really quick and easy to make. Also, because tomorrow is Cyber Monday, it is going to be November the 27th, I still have my $25 gift certificates for $20 through tomorrow night at midnight. When you shop with me on my online store, you can use this gift certificate, and I have a blog post that explains everything about this gift certificate. Just look for the Black Friday Cyber Monday blog post, and you can read about how to get these gift certificates and how they work. So let's move on to making our box. Now, the paper that I'm going to be using is 1/2 of a sheet of real red cardstock, 4 1/4 by 11. I have a scrap piece of some real red glimmer paper. This is about 2.5 by 2.5. I have a scrap piece of some Whisper White and another piece of Whisper White that is 6 inches by 1 inch. The first thing you'll want to do is put your cardstock in your Simply Scored scoring tool with the 11" across the top. We're going to score this in half, which will be at 5.5 inches. Now, you may notice on my scoreboard I have a white line running right down through the center, and I'm getting ready to show you how I use that. So what I'm going to do first is put my paper in on the 4 1/4 side, find the center, which is 2 1/8, and just make a little mark with my stylus. Then I'm going to use my line that I have drawn here. I'm going to line that little mark up with that line down the center of my scoreboard. Then this first score line that I made, I'm going to line that up as well, and then just score. Then I'm going to hold this in place, slide my paper to the other side, line the score line up with my white mark, and score again. So what you'll have is a triangular shaped score. And then we're going to turn this around on the other side and do the same thing. Mark the center at 2 1/8, line that mark up on that line, slide my paper over here and score, and then do the same thing on the other side. Now, I will have a printable PDF for you. It will have a drawing of this piece of paper and where to do your scoring. If you don't have the Simply Scored scoring tool, you can simply use your ruler by marking your 2 1/8 mark, and then just using your ruler to line up from this point to this point and using your stylus to score with. I'm going to go ahead and get all of my score lines folded. I'm going to lay this out flat. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some of my stamping. The stamp set that I'm going to be using today is the Labels of Love stamp set. I'm going to use the To and From and the For You from this stamp set. And I'm going to be using also my Real Red ink. So first of all, I'm going to start out with my To and From. I'm going to get that inked up really well. And I'm going to stamp right here about 1 inch to 1 1/4 off of the left hand side. Then I'm going to take my For You and stamp that just about in the center of my other scrap piece of Whisper White. I'm going to use my Fast Fuse and put a couple of strips along the back side of this long piece of Whisper White. Then I'm going to find my score line right here, and I'm going to line this paper up with that bottom score line, but I also want to make sure that my To and From is on the right hand side of this diagonal mark. So I'm going to get that pushed down really well. Then I'll flip that over, and I'm going to trim off the piece on each side that I do not need. And I intentionally made this a little bit long so that I could make sure that I have it in the right spot and that it's long enough and not too short, and it just works out better that way. Go ahead and get that score line folded also. Now I'm going to grab my Big Shot and do some of my die cutting. I'm going to put my 4U down as well as my red glimmer paper. I'm going to be using my Layering Circles Framelits dies. I'm going to use the second from the smallest scalloped oval, or circle rather, for my glimmer paper, and the smallest plain circle for my sentiment. Alright, now that I have that cut out, I'm just going to use one of my dimensionals and pop that right on the back of my little sentiment right there, and then get that centered up in my red glimmer paper. Then I'm going to take my hat, and where I want this piece to go, I'm going to put some adhesive right there, and then go ahead and stick that down right in the center of where that triangular point comes up and meets. Now I'm going to put my adhesive on this side, and what I'll do is just run my fast fuse right alongside those diagonal score lines on both sides. Then I'm going to lay this down, which will be the back, and lay the front on top. Then fold these sides into place and get everything stuck down. So now I've got that made. I'm going to be using my classic weave ribbon. I'm going to cut a strip here that's probably about 9 inches long, and then I'm going to just tie this into a bow. Snip off the excess ribbon. Use my mini glue dots and put one right on the back side of that bow, and then put that bow right here above the to and from. So now I have my box all complete, and this was a super simple, quick, easy little gift box to make. Kids are going to love it because it's a Santa hat, and it doesn't take a whole lot of supplies to put this together. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and that you will find this inspirational to make treat boxes for your children and their classmates. Now I will have the printable PDF over on my blog for this project. It will have all of the paper measurements, where to cut, where to score, all the in-depth instructions for you to be able to recreate this project. Now while you're over on my blog getting your PDF, make sure that you sign up for my newsletter, because I sent out exclusive tutorials at least once a month, and I keep you up to date when Stampin' Up! Is having promotions and specials and sales and new product that's coming out, and I also give you other little tidbits of information along the way as well. I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, that way you won't miss any of my future paper crafting tutorials. And if you like this tutorial today, I would love for you to give this video a thumbs up. There will also be a list of all of the supplies that I used for this project in the description box, which is below the video, as well as some other links that you may be interested in. And don't forget about the $25 gift certificate for $20. Find the blog post, read about that. If you have any questions, just send me an email. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.